Sorry. Okay, I think it's okay, Spito. Oh, Hello everyone and welcome. We are now together in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. This is the live broadcast. I'm in 2020. We will be a very short time. Welcome, Gabriel Furtado. Welcome, Sue. Welcome, Guojiu. Welcome to the live broadcast ACC Summit 2020. You can join us on a Zoom conference. You can have your face shown in this conference, make questions. It will be a pleasure to have you here. Good evening, Mr. Praise Sainlan. Welcome. Thank you, Bray. It's a real pleasure to have you here. Welcome to the live broadcast ACC Summit 2020. Today we have great guests. Ana Miranda from Portugal, USA. Yuri from the Ukraine. Mishi from Japan. Joris from the Netherlands. Bai from China. All being presented by myself, Pedro Zaz, and the great DJ Speto. All mixed up by VJ Erms, with a great production skills from Tala. And the brain of Jimmy Choi. Good morning to Brazil. Good afternoon to Europe. Good evening to Asia. Let's all drink some tea. If you are with us in Zoom, please turn on your camera. Let's all be together in this.
silent for too long, all day after day, and it weighs on my heart. They think that I belong to them, never ask. I let them walk over me. Would you do it for me? Could you be careful? I'm surrounded. I need some air. Should I done faster to make you disappear? Should I done faster? That's what the moon told me. That's what the moon told me. That's what the moon told me.
Hello, 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 hello. So we're about to start. I think it's time to show my face so you can put a face to a voice. Hello, everyone. I am Pedro Zas, United VJs and VJ University, Splendid Dome VJ and the ACC Festival co-founder. It's a real pleasure to be here with you today. It looks a bit funny that I'm stopping, but I have a Chinese translation right here. We are being translated to China in real time. Please subscribe to your life, to your dreams, and to your wills. We are in this together. We invite everyone today to have a wonderful time with us in this great ACC Summit 2020. It's a real pleasure to be here, sharing this experience of presenting and introducing this amazing festival to you with my dear VA friend Vijay Speto. Vijay Speto, are you there?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the ACC Summit 2020. I'm Vijay Speto. I'm talking from Brazil, and I belong for the first VJ generation here in my country. For now, we start our summit.
It's funny that we are making it flow so people around the world can be understood and our message can get through. Today, it's a special time, different moments, new ways of doing everything. Let's talk about it. It's going to be really special.
Um, for now, I want to start the ACC summit. I have my annotations here to start, and then this is our first 100% online edition. And to start today, I want to call Michi, a very famous artist representative of Projection Mapping Association of Japan. He founded the Asian's largest international video mapping competition, 1 Minute Mapping Projection. And then and he produced various projects in the field of business, entertainment, and so. Mitch, please share with us your thoughts about how to survive in this pandemic.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Speto. How are you? Hi, this is Michi from Japan, and I'm a creator who interested about the potential of video, and a producer and a director who enjoyed producing interesting new work and connecting people with things. And I have always loved searching for unique experiences through creating installation and media artwork. I graduated. I always feeling about the possibility of a video. So I'm doing as an artist using the video projection for all various spaces. And I have been UK for a long time ago, and I'm doing the lot of performance mainly in UK. And during the time, I come across the projection mapping, and I felt like it's a future of what I have been doing, and decided to work with mapping from the front lines. In order to expand and deepen the knowledge of projection mapping, I established the Projection Mapping Association of Japan in 2011, together with a couple of amazing colleagues. And we started the international competition from the 2012. Can you show the video? My videos.
といえば。
Okay, this is it. And there are a lot of video mapping creator comes to the venue, and we gather and connect. It's really good opportunity for all people who participate in this contest. For my work, I'm not only involved in making projection mapping work, but also in both small and large projection projects to create depends on unique and attractive expressions for space productions by correlating video with space. So the theme for today is what should we do when the COVID-19 pandemic is happened? Japan has been working hard for many years to host the Tokyo Olympic. However, due to the emergence of the coronavirus, it has lost it has lost its goals and energy, which created a major social void and loss. Similar to many places, various small and large stages, live performances, arts, culture offering, events, and entertainment have been cancelled or postponed in Japan, also all over the world, and many creators and the production companies are at a major crossroad, and I myself, taking it with a sense of tension. This coronavirus situation has been depriving people of opportunity to interact and communicate with others face to face, but instead started replacing it with online and virtual world. It is also opportunity for us to reconsider the shift to combination of virtual and real events. Also, the number of real events has decreased. Online work and communication has drastically increased. This gives us an opportunity to reconnect with acquaintances. It also gives us the chance to connect with clients and creators that we have not met before. Therefore, I felt like this is a great chance to create new opportunities. And being aware and conscious about other people is very incorporated in Japan, in Japanese culture. From this, it can be said the Japanese empathy bring understanding, perception, and certain uniformity to people's mentality in Japan. Because of the national characteristics, things that has a lot of empathy will move forward, but the barrier is built against things of different opinion and mindset. which makes it harder to move forward in the sense. However, due to the empathy built from the shock of the coronavirus situation, this has led to many changes in place that had been stagnant before. Not only people are becoming more acceptable to online meeting and remote work, the idea of everything being over concentrated in Tokyo has started dispersing to different regions. In addition, the traditional method of requiring a lot of paperwork and stamp has been rapidly advanced to digitalization, online approvals, and the changes in payment methods as well. And many performances and concert has switched to online broadcasting using the Zoom or other means, and the famous artists are also attracting more customers online as compared to real venue due to limited capacities, and they are making more profit. I know. This is interesting thing. My main work is usually to bring people together in real place. Projection mapping is really real place. Through projection mapping, special production of public and commercial place, stage and music live performance, and other various events and planned production. However, since the market is now declining dramatically, and how can we update our skills and experiences to associate it to the change caused by the coronavirus situation, and how do we redefine our values? This is something we have to continue thinking on a daily basis. I believe the fundamental rules of work and creators, which is to place people, impress, gives thoughts, and creating awareness, and directly related to the essence of human nature. However, it is necessary to change our approach and the method depending on the current social situation, coronavirus situations. And but projection mapping and large-scale events in projection mapping alone has been decreasing. On the other hand, there are also many questions such as can we do projection mapping in the virtual space, or is it possible to deliver projection mapping online to create a realistic experience? There are so many questions for me like that. Yes, this is one of the way for the creation, I think. However, instead, I'm trying to do things through try and error while thinking first. What I'm really interested in right now is the mixture of virtual and real. Various spaces and informations are commonly mapped onto a green screen background for the television. It is also filled with a high affinity to demonstrate it to the video experience, and spatial power cultivated by projection mapping. in terms of distribution, we are also testing the use of 360-degree cameras because I think it would be interesting for the viewer to see things from their own perspective due to the influence of the coronavirus situation. There are not many opportunities to go out and have a real experiences. Instead, online travel tours and the various online hands-on events are becoming popular in Japan right now. Here, one can place various topics and information during the distribution and in some cases events, the sponsors information while giving a good added value to enrich the audience participation and interaction. And there are also a lot of distribution platforms such as Cluster or YouTube, but I'm looking forward to a combination of space production and the real-time distribution, and for it to be a business structure in the future. I do believe that this is a field that requires our proficiency in CG design and spatial performances. And so, online and virtual distribution, everyone can express themselves freely without the need to maintain exact facial and physical characteristics. It's very interesting things. Collaboration is not just about cross creator, cross people, but it is very possible worldwide where it is not possible or necessary to meet in real life. Actually, I have launched a new company called Colors Creation last year, mainly to introduce creators from all over the world and their work and method, and to match them with clients to create business and project works. There are expression and creators that are not generally known in the world, and there are always projects that seek them. And there are many people who do not know Japanese creator and creativities, or who want to know them. We believe that the global network that we have cultivate will be great using established place for creators to explain their fields and express themselves in business. Finally, I think that it is the right way of creation today, that it is not think one person, but to connect with many people, many creator and expressions, and technology help them. I look forward to working with you and everyone who is watching this. Thank you very much. Back to Speto. Pedro.
Hello, 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 hello. Look
Hello,
at
hello.
my face. Thank you, Mishi. It was a great time we had together in Russia, in Tokyo, in Geneva. Me and Mishi met for a good 3 or 4 times. I really like your 360 experience. That sounds very good. You see, guys, what I'm doing here is giving some time for my English being translated to Chinese. Okay, this is a crazy way we found out to break language barriers. So we're very happy we could do this. So next, I'm very excited. This is why I have this filter, because it's a very art filter. We have with us Ana Miranda. Ana Miranda, she's a great curator, organizer, such energy, more energy than me. It's amazing. She represents the Portuguese art in the USA and all over the world. To tell you a secret, she does more for the Portuguese arts outside Portugal than any Portuguese government has done. Okay, where is Ana?
Hi, everybody. I hope you're listening to me properly. So, thank you all for being here with us today. As you know, I will speak slowly so that what I'm saying can be translated in Chinese. So, I'll be giving you all these pauses in between. So, as Pedro said, I am the founder and director of Art Institute, a New York-based non-for-profit. Although we are based in New York, we work all over the world in 86 cities and 32 countries. And what we do is we promote the Portuguese contemporary art and culture, and that means in several fields. So it's music, cinema, dance, literature, theater, performance, everything you can imagine, any kind of form of art. That's what we do, and that's what we try to bring from Portugal to all around the world. So last year we came up with a new project, which is called Revolution, Hope, Imagination, that we call RAI. And Revolution, Hope, Imagination tries to bring together people from all over the world, curators, producers, artists, everybody that it's somehow connected with the art industry, art in general, not art just the visual artists. And we try to bring all these people together in Portugal for a week, not only to see showcases of artists from all over the world, but mainly Portuguese artists, but also to talk about new directions for culture. And when we talk about these new directions, we're talking about not only the artistic way, but also the funding, the way that we interact with other fields of the society, because I believe that especially in Europe, there's still this difficulty of bringing together and seeing art as a business. And I always give this great example from the US that they call the show business, and that shows that they look at our field of work as also something that it's a business as any other in society. But in Europe, and because the funding is so often made by grants, public grants, state grants, so that gives this feeling that this is really not an economical field that it has a return, and I'm talking about economical return. So with the Revolution Hope Imagination, the RAI initiative, Art Institute wanted to promote this new dialogue and interactions with companies, not only just the grants and the funds, but also new ways of doing it, and also interact the culture with the culture with the tourism, which is, for instance, for Portugal, it has been growing a lot in the past years, and this was how we recover from a huge crisis that we had in 2008. So I see a lot of opportunities for artists and for people that work in the arts to actually gain from this platform that the tourism and that companies sometimes are, and this is so well done in the US, in the United States, and I see that sometimes we don't have that mindset still in Europe. So with this initiative, we did several things, and education was also a big part of it, and we wanted to not only give more tools with workshops for artists, but also for people in general that had interest in arts, but also to kind of create a new mindset in the audience. So we wanted the audience to perceive what we do as a profession, as a job, because it's so often we hear, especially actors and musicians, so often we hear people say, oh, so what's your job? And people reply, oh, I'm a musician. And they say, no, your real job, as if this was not a job or a career that you choose. So we created an app called Rethink. And this app would be exactly to talk about how to pay the artist, meaning you go to a free show, and in the new media a lot of times this happens. So there's sometimes a tendency, because you did not pay a ticket, that this doesn't have a value. It's different when you have a ticket that you bought and you have it at home. If you intend not to go to that show, you always have this feeling that you're losing money, that because you made an investment. That doesn't happen when you're talking about a free show that you don't have to pay a ticket. So with this app, the Rethink app, what we wanted to do was to create a space where people could actually think about it and value the work of the artist. So we are paying the artist to do a concert or whatever it is, and there's no ticket. So we invite people to pay whatever they want, whatever they think that it's the value of what they watched. So when the pandemic started, we had already the tools to actually pay the artists for their online work. So what happened was, and because we were watching all these artists doing these free shows at Facebook, Instagram, and all the social media that they can use, and then asking for donations, which was very painful for us to watch. Because again, when you talk about donations, when you're talking about artists, then it's like, again, it's not a profession, it's not a job, it's not a career, and that cannot happen. So we have to erase some words from our vocabulary, and that was one of this, was the donation word. So and now I think we can start with the presentation, because we created this initiative as part of the RAI initiative that had a week of shows, talks, and workshops in Portugal in 12 different cities. So we also wanted to spread the event all over the country so that everybody could have access. When the pandemic started in April, so we had like 2 weeks to prepare. And in April, we launched the RAI stage as part of one of the initiatives of RAI. So with RAI stage, we were presenting shows every night it doesn't matter which kind of artists they are, if they were musicians or dancers or or if they were visual artists, or if they were actors. So we created a space because we already had the platform, the rethink.com, which was the website that hosted all the activities of the initiative in September 2019. So we had already the platform, we had already the marketplace. So RiseStage had one intent, to give artists from all over the globe the opportunity to showcase their work, which most of them were already doing it, but get paid for it. And the audience was invited to not only watch the shows through Facebook or through the platform or through the app, and you could go then at the app. If you were watching there, you just have to click on a button called value, and then you would be offered to pay whatever you want with several systems. You could do PayPal, you could do credit card. So it was very accessible for everybody. And the artist could be paid without being asked for a donation, or without being or without being asked, or without being asking the people to go to their personal account, which is in any way not a professional way of doing it. And the way we found for this was, in the beginning we thought, let's do lives, and everybody was doing already lives. And but then we thought, but this will not work for every field of art. So a dancer probably will not have the space or the opportunity to go out to a studio and record a new show. So we came up with the idea of presenting videos. Basically what we wanted was not to leave anyone behind, and have everybody would have, doesn't matter which part of art which kind of artist they were, that they could have the opportunity to present their work and be paid for it. So that's how RiseStage started. We had an app, we had a platform, and we did an open call that we did not create. So everybody that applied, we presented their work, which was a tough call because we have a line of a curatorial line that we didn't want just to let go, because we're known for the things and the shows we present. But we understood that this was a moment that all the artists needed help. So we were not going to select by their work, but what we wanted was to give the opportunity to everybody. And that's what we did. So we hosted 130 shows in 2 months and a half. When things start lightening up in Europe, and the venues, the theaters, the cinemas start slowly opening, that's when we stopped doing new shows. So we still have the shows available. You can go to our website, rhi-think.com, and you can see RiseStage, and you have all the presentations there, or you can download our app, Rethink, R-H-I Think, and you can download it. And you can see all the shows there. You can still see them, you can still pay them. But what we did at the most crucial time of the pandemic, where people could not go out, was first we start with one show per day, where we would promote this show. And we had a main magazine, Visão, in Portugal, that was also helping us out promoting that show that day. And at that time, then after a month, we had so many people that wanted to participate that we started doing 2 shows per day. So we would have a show at 9 and another one at 10. And then this lasts for the 2 months and a half. And it's very interesting because this goes in line with many things that we have been talking about, which is a shift in the artistic community. We need to be more prepared to the new technologies. And of course, this doesn't apply to most of you of the new media, but all the other fields, the music, the dance, the theater, the performance, they need to be have more tools for a situation like that. And they need to be more prepared. And I think there was a lot of opportunities that were being missed because there was there was no need. So we had the venues open, we had the shows, we had the curators programming us. So we didn't look for different ways to work. And the pandemic, unfortunately or fortunately in that case, made us look for new solutions. And that was very important because one of the results, and I think this is the slide you're watching right now, is just that we understood the relations, and somehow we proved our point of view that it's very important the way the artist position itself and its work. So the artists that actually promoted their work but didn't talk about being paid, they had several views. They would reach some of them in the first day 4,000, 5,000 views, but then there would be no payment. So because they were not mentioning or why the ticket or value the work of the artist, which is the slogan we have been using with the Rise Stage initiative, and that wouldn't happen. The artists that would promote the show and talk about the ticket or valuing or paying whatever they can, those artists, they actually get paid. They get payments, they get people that actually donate more than if they were paying a regular ticket in a venue. So this shows a lot. I think it's really important the way the artists position themselves, the way they know how to use the social network, because when the pandemic started, there was no other way for you as an artist to communicate with your audience if it wasn't for your social media. So, and you talking directly to the people that follow you. So this is really important, and I think as artists, we all have to look at the social media as our direct voice to our audience. So we, of course, we all knew that it's super important to have followers, and as many as you have, the better. But this is much more than that. We have to start thinking in new ways of engaging, because if we think now, we're doing our jobs all we're doing all our meetings in Zooms. So we spend already our entire day at Zoom. We don't want to get at night and just watch one more show on the computer, on the internet. It doesn't matter how much we love that art form. It's just a lot of things on top of each other, meaning we are looking at the screen 24 by 24, and when we could not leave our houses, so we didn't even have other distractions. So we have to think in new ways of how to reach the audience, making them feel not the same thing, because we could never replace a real show in a real venue where you are and you have the intensity of the show, the artist, all the energy that a show has, that it's impossible to be reproduced by a computer. And I was very glad to hear before that they're looking into ways of us to feel more and have a more real life experience. But the thing is, a show, it's always a show, a real show in a venue, all the preparation of you going there, the moments waiting for that takes you from your space, which is your house or your work or wherever you're watching that show online. So we have to really find ways, and I think this is our biggest challenge right now, is to find ways not to reach the audience, because we're reaching them, and thank God for the internet and all the technology that we have available today. But we have to first keep fighting to do the shows as we do it. And I've been in shows here since I'm right now in Portugal. So I went to the cinema already. I went to concerts, and I went to a theater show. And the way they're doing it with all these rules, and it's of course super annoying that you have to wear a mask, but they're giving us the space, the way they you enter the room, the way they exit everybody out of the room, it's too coordinated. So that's not a risk that we're going to contaminate it, because it's really well done. So we have to keep pushing to have shows happening. I know I'm not talking about massive shows. I know that's much more complicated to organize, but most importantly is we have to keep fighting as artists for this to happen, because if we can fly, we can also do shows. And the other thing, it's also connected with the flying and the traveling and the international part, which is we will not be able to travel at least anytime soon, also because many countries have restrictions, so you cannot just take a plane and get into the US, for instance, just a plain example. Even to Portugal, you have to have exams in 72 hours before you depart. So it's for internationalization of artists, this is going to be a major challenge. So we all have to adapt. We all have to find ways to do this in a different way. And I see this moment as an opportunity to explore ways that we were not looking for it. We were in some fields, and I'm not talking about new media because you're always trying to innovate. I always see you guys very connected with the startups and these people that are also a different kind of artists, and think a lot about technology and always have to keep up with everything that's going on. So I think this is a moment for us to really engage in a conversation, come together as a community, a worldwide community of artists, see how we can work and bring things that are done in a different field from ours as artists, but people are doing real good things. See what the positive signs are, see what people are doing there. It's really creating an impact, and trying to bridge all this and bring it together so that we can really move forward, because arts are much more needed now than they were before. This is what will keep us humans, what will keep us sane. And it's very important that we all come together as a community, as the artistic community, and come up with the real new and good solutions for the world to keep going in the good direction.
Thank you, Anna. It was very inspiring to see your vision about this new world that we are living. And it's fantastic because in these few minutes, we travel from Portugal to Brazil, to Japan, to US, and now you are going to Ukraine. You're going to talk with Mr. Yuri Kostenko, who he was responsible for some immersive experience and the visual technologies for stage shows, museums, and planetariums worldwide since 2003. He also co-founder of Kiev Light Festival, a very nice festival, let me say that. And then it's the Ukraine's biggest open air festival of light and media arts. So now we have the pleasure to have here the Mr. Yuri Kostenko.
Hello, everybody. I would like to add some optimistic to this COVID times, because COVID will go and the passion will stay. So actually what I want to show you and share with you is my way of becoming media designer. And it's an extremely interesting world. So I really inspire you to become a media designer, to explore the world of new media and new technologies. So let me show you my way and share some experience with you. So I will share my presentation now. Hope you see it. So what is being media designer is really a good feeling, I would say. So you can do work that will be seen by millions, that can inspire millions and change the lives of millions. And you can do all that by creating magic. So here is me in 2003, when I was working in big international advertising agency and started to realize that I'm missing something in my life. And I was so excited by newly discovered possibilities of computer graphics. And I wanted to do something on a computer graphics. And you can start doing on a computer something that looked as real, as surreal. And so I wanted to dive into this world. So, and that was time when it started to be possible to do it on not on a huge silicon graphics machine, but on your home computer. So in 2003, I decided together with my friends to organize a company that we called Front Pictures. And we started as a computer graphics studio. So we said to our clients, if you need photorealistic computer generated bottle or pack, we can do it. If you need interactive video presentation, you can do it too. If you need image retouching, we can do it, no problem. Do you need custom software or computer game? We can develop it for you. So there are no limits, everything is possible. And you need just few crazy guys around you. So here we are in 2004 when we started Front Pictures. So in media design, there is no way, there is no such a meaning of independent or dependent producer, like in cinema industry, for example. So you all independent. So you do is what you believe to do, and is only limited by your fantasy. Nobody can put any barrier in front of you. So you can be from anywhere in the world. So basically, you need your laptop and your computer and a group of crazy people. So that's how we started our company. And then we started to do our first jobs. So we started to do photorealistic bottle packs, and like we made really thousands of them. And here are some examples of our work. But 2005 was a turning point for us, so that we got our first project in show business. The task was to create content for the record-breaking screen, 60 by 8-meter screen. The project was called Digi's Nokia Video Drive. And the resolution was crazy. It was 5,000 by 700 pixels, and nobody can do it. Everybody said no, but only we were crazy enough to say yes. So in a few months of hard work, we have seen this. It was 2005, 60 by 8-meter screen, 5,000 by 700 pixels, and the crowd of people was watching it. So my mind was blown away, and I decided that I will do this for all my life. So we started to focus on producing video graphics for stage shows and events. So clients were looking for new forms of entertainment, and they were eager to experiment with new visuals and new interactive technologies. So in 2007, we made our Screenberry media server. That's our powerful tool we use till now. So that's the first project we did with Screenberries, Red Racing School 2007. So we connected LED screens, 7 LED screens on stage, and that was really mind-blowing experience for everybody in the audience. So in 2009, we created Timetable. It was the time where people were experimenting with tangible music interfaces, and we made our version of it, and that became a project called Timetable, Interactive Media Table. And the mannequin, the guy you see on a photo, we were traveling the world with this instrument. We visited 50 places around the world with this instrument. In 2010, we started to do our first project with video mapping, and started to do hundreds and hundreds of projects with concert shows and graphics for concerts. And we also started to experiment with touch interfaces, and it was before iPhone. That was before touch interfaces become available for people. So it was really magic. So you can touch something, you can move photo on a screen, or you can type your name and send this photo to your email. That was really magic. So in 2011, we entered the world of full dome. So our first project was on Kazantip. It's an electronic music festival in Ukraine. And one of our clients wanted us to create a dome roof for the bar there. So we made our first auto calibration system to blend projectors together. And it was also an interesting experience. And that became a root of hundreds of our full dome projects right now. I will show you a few. That's a renovation of Kyiv Planetarium in 2011. That's a concert in Kyiv Planetarium in 2013. That's a game in Japan. It's a full dome game, so you interact with the dome. So next is the National Space Center in United Kingdom, the biggest dome in United Kingdom. It's a full dome installation we made in 2018. It's experiments when we integrated VR headset and full dome, and few more projects from around the globe. So in 2014, we made a gallery. It was the first in Ukraine multimedia exhibition. So we converted this space by using a lot of projectors and equipment into this. And it was kind of an official world record because we managed to connect 52 projectors to just one server. And we also created few shows like Renaissance, Avant-Garde, and Impressionism. Some examples. In 2015, we decided to go to America Got Talent together with our friends from Freckled Sky and director Oleg Bondarchuk. We created stage show that nobody's seen before. So it's our team on stage before the show, and we did this. So it was interactive dance where people could interact with water. And we got massive media support, and we got so many views, like millions and millions of views on YouTube and Facebook. It was really a big hit on the internet. So we become famous by this project. So people were crazy. They were posting incredible comments about how beautiful this is, how awesome this experience was. In 2016, we made graphics for Jamala for Eurovision 2016, and Jamala won the competition, and Eurovision came to Ukraine. And again, it was mind-blowing experience. Like you're working with a team of high professionals, the best people in the industry. You work together to make this huge show that is watched by 250 million people. In 2017, we built Space 360, full sphere VR theater in Korea. So the idea was to create ultimate cinema experience, not having VR headset on your head, but looking around you, you can get 360 immersive experience. So that's how we built it. So we used 12 projectors, blended them together, avoided shadows, and like we had a lot of technical challenges, but we did it. So this installation can be considered a true VR theater of the future. When you step inside, you find yourself on a transparent glass observation bridge, and you look around and see the universe around you. So it can be anything. Again, world recognition, it became finalist of Innovation Award, was featured by a lot of international media. In 2018, we decided to go to America Got Talent again, but with completely new show. It's anti-gravity show, how we call it. So this show that you defy gravity on stage. So you actually erase the borders between real world and virtual world. So after we did it, we traveled the world with this technology, and we got even higher world recognition. So this show was watched online more than 100 million times. And we visited a lot of countries. We got, again, stunning reviews from audience. They said it's something incredible, that's something next generation, that's something from the future. So that's audience reaction was really supportive, and really when you see all this, you understand why you spend so many sleepless nights of doing this stuff. That was the longest project we did. It was 11 months to make it. So we traveled the world. Our performance was on TikTok in Guangzhou, China. We were opening a big event called Dough Night show that was attracted by 100 million viewers. So we were a Chinese version of Got Talent version that was called World's Got Talent in 2011. We were at CES, Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas in 2012, at the beginning of this year. And lately we created a Your Future holographic presentation. And again, we merged real, virtual, and physical world. And as you see here, you have two guys. One is real on the left, and one is not real on the right. And audience couldn't recognize who is real, who is not real. So we could create magic by blending virtual and physical world together again. So if you're talking about current situation, Front Pictures is a digital production focused on delivering unique multimedia performances, immersive experiences, and AV installations of any scale around the world. So we focus on motion graphics, multimedia shows, projection mapping, immersive installations, museums and planetariums, and interactive art. And all this journey started 17 years ago, and we are multiple award winners. So can we watch my video demo? So here you see Jamala performance on Eurovision, America Got Talent, Anti-Gravity 2017. America Got Talent 2015, Rain Dance. Rock band DDT concert show. Mercedes-Benz show in Turkey. Work for supercar manufacturer. Jamala in Ukraine on Eurovision some interactive dances. Your future holographic presentation. Some more work about full dome and immersive environments. That's a full sphere VR theater in South Korea. The work we done for Marriott Hotel, it's again immersive experience. So that's all. Basically, I hope I inspired you to become a media designer, to travel the world, to show your work to millions of people. And it's interesting profession. And I hope COVID times will be over, but the passion will stay. And I wish you good luck and hope you enjoy my presentation.
Hello, Yuri. That was an amazing presentation. I think there's a lot of 360 going on here. Interesting. Look at me, VJ hand. Yeah. Cool, huh? Okay, we now have Mr. Fei Jung. He's a professor of the technology program of the Central Academy of Fine Arts in Beijing. And it will be great sharing moments where we can understand how the Chinese education system has been coping with all these pandemic times. I think they are a little bit ahead. So let's connect to Mr. Fei.
Hi everyone, this is Fei Jun from Beijing, China. I'm an artist, designers, and educators working in the field of art and technology. Thanks ACC Summit for inviting me to share my practice in art, design, and education. Let me switch to my presentation today. Yeah, hopefully you can see my presentation on the screen. So today I would like to talk about interdisciplinary context of art and technology. I will also introduce some of the works from myself and my student. So today when we discuss art, science, and technology, we need to use interdisciplinary context to understand the history, significance, and the value of this new discipline. And we also need to apply interdisciplinary perspective to reconstruct the practice and education model of art, science, and technology. The current education we apply today is based on the logic of the industrial structure in the industrial age. So when we start to enter into intelligent age from information age, we have to face two important facts. Firstly, the serious lag of the cognitive system, which is constructed by philosophy, art, sociology, anthropology, psychology, law, and so on. Secondly, the gradual failure of ethical system that is built upon the traditional social structure. These two factors have formed the urgent demand for the new discipline of art, science, and technology in this era. So this diagram shows how we construct this new discipline in education. Technology has significantly expanded our awareness about an organism and the environment. Artificial intelligence and intelligent artificials are the two fields that developed from this expansion. The biological and the digital approach started to merge. Art and science, design and engineering started to interact each other. Based on this interdisciplinary context, we have developed a new discipline model in art practice and education. These are some of the major transformation I think is going to profoundly change the way of art making. The value of art will expand from the value of aesthetics to ethics. Artists will involve deeply into the construction of the new ethical system. The digital technology has greatly changed how we define and perceive the reality. The field of art practice will transform from physical reality to hybrid reality, a new reality that is merged from physical reality with virtual reality. The method of the art making will expand from artist studio to laboratory, which is based on interdisciplinary methodology. Last but not least, the output of the art will not limited to image and object, but also be a creative system and algorithm. So next, I will give you a quick overview about art and technology program in CAFA, which is the school I work with. This new program has become the 22nd BA program of Central Academy of Fine Arts. And the program encourages students to cultivate creative strategies, technical competencies, and critical thinking skills with interdisciplinary approach. So with interest in all kinds of emerging technology, we've been developed 4 areas in curriculum, which is art plus biotechnology, art plus intelligent technology, art plus robot technology, and art plus data technology. So next, I'm going to show you some works from myself and my students from these 4 focus areas. The first piece I'm going to show you is from one of my students, Su Yongjian. The piece is called Bug Capsule. Basically, the piece is an interactive installation. It functions as kind of a music theater, but performed by all kinds of insects, such as flies and nails. And the mechanical instruments will generate sound based on the movement of different insects. And this kind of work shows how students start to integrate skills in the creative strategy, technical competences, and creative thinking. Let me play the video for you. Okay, let's move on. Move on the second piece, and by the same student. The piece itself is called Evolution Machine. So basically, student has started to develop this algorithm as to try to predict how efficient human can work, run, jump. And he's even built this installation that can be wearing as kind of a skeleton this is himself performed in this installation. So basically, the algorithm that's developed from the software is going to decide how this skeleton work. So I think the piece itself is kind of really ironically to dealing with how robotic technology, how this AI technology is going to change our body in a very kind of humorous way. So himself is completely controlled by the program he developed himself based on genetic algorithm. And obviously, this is not really a comfortable a situation, but this kind of bring up these issues, how we're going to dealing with all kind of intelligent machine in the future as well. So next area I will talk about is an intelligent technology. The first piece I'm going to show you is a piece I developed for Vidis Banani in 2019. Basically, research, it's a location-based application which allow user to download this developed application on their own mobile phone. So on this app, viewer can search and experience the transplanted 25 bridges from China in the various local bridges. So by connecting bridge from two land through the similarity of forms, research, I try to review the commonality between the two civilizations, as well as the differences between the two regions. So the video shows how user is experience this works in Venice city. So when you use this app to search these 25 bridges in Venice, it start automatically detect and push you a VR view of a Chinese bridge. And the next piece I'm going to show you is also from a China Pavilion of Venice Biennale in 2019. The piece itself is called Interesting World Installation 2. The piece is more function like an interactive narrative installation. We utilize artificial intelligence technology. The webcam in the installation, as you can tell in the video, start to recognize the appearance, facial expressions, and clothing color of each on-site audience based on the image recognition technology. The software also try to label each person with a classification label based on the comprehensive recognition of judging people by appearance. The AI software use algorithm with semantic relevance to generate a unique virtual earth based narrative. So as you see in the video, the software try to label in each audience, then start a narrative based on a virtual mapping to telling a unique stories based on each audience. And I think really what the software try to make is try to connecting the audience to probably any strangers, objects, and the place in the world that maybe logically has relevance from the algorithm. And give you one of the example of how that happened. If we look at these photos, the algorithm and the webcam, I try to detect the color of this audience. And based on this kind of color relations, and has bring him to the kind of graveyard that has a lot of orange color and flowers. And the algorithm start to also collage with a video that's found online, and really in a really poetic way. It's basically the software is like a poem. It's trying to make a really poetic movie himself. And next, I'm going to move into art and biotechnology. And this is a piece called DNA Soup, designed by my student Liao Wenhua. It's like a really ironic and also humorous piece. Basically, he has designed this equipment. Everyone can make a soup out of their own DNA. And he's even developed a DNA soup recipes. So you can probably make this soup in really nice looking and with good taste. He also developed a new project called IMI Plants, the Urban Wilderness Project. So the concept is he's going to build his installation in an urban wilderness environment. So people can use this installation as IMI Plant museum to understand how this kind of wilderness is benefit the urban environment. He also developed this installation to show the environment change with the data visualization. And he even developed IMI Plant vending machines so audience can get the free seeds and spread out in their own living community. These are some of the images from the vending machine. So let me show you a small video clip of this urban wilderness project. It's still a kind of work in progress, but it's really dealing with how we are going to develop a more diverse bio-environment in the urban situation. And the next project dealing with data technology and art. And the piece done by one of my students. Basically, the piece itself is called a body writer. You try to use the data that's generated from the body itself, then to write a poem out of the data. So all the device is detecting the data of your arms, your twist, and use that as kind of an algorithm to drive the writing. And the poem will be generated in the real time with your body movement. It's kind of a poem writing now from our brain. Instead, it's from our body. And these are some of the design process she made. And a piece called geometry of emotions is a really interdisciplinary kind of piece done by myself and two scientists together. And so basically, this piece it's kind of a experiment with mathematicians and psychological scientists together. We try to deal with how can we. Oh, I'm sorry. Somehow I didn't play the video itself. So let's play the video. Okay. So basically, user was invited to put their arms into a dark box to touch and explore the geometrical models. During the explorations, the data collecting device and the algorithm are used to detect the heart rate and analyze emotion status of each audience. A data visualization software will assign a basic geometry to match 3 different temperament types and generate a unique transform geometries that's affected by individual emotion status. So finally, the automated chalk printer will draw the transformed geometry on the blackboard for each participating audience. So these are some of the drawings made by the machine. The last piece I want to show you is called a Garden of Hummingbirds. I was really lucky working on a new airport public art projects. So this project is like a digital scroll painting, recreated for the airport. The work expressed the imaginary vision of harmonies coexisting of all things. The nature thing in the scroll, in the spirit of literary painting, involved in real time with the weather and the season data. Basically, the piece itself changing based on the season and the weather. And whenever the passenger comes through the screen, all the birds, it's coming out of the painting itself to welcoming the audience on site. And the piece itself try to transforming the painting into an interactive interface between man and nature. And also the work itself is connected to the big data of the airport, which you can show whenever the airplane is landing in the airport. There was a bird will fly into the garden with the flight number. And we're still waiting. There was a day whenever there was a big delay in the airport, so we can see 100 birds gathering in the garden. But unfortunately, this pandemic started happen right after the opening of the airport. Hopefully, we all believe this pandemic situation is going to be end very soon, and so all the birds will coming back to this digital garden to welcome our friends from all over the world. So finally, I want to express art and technology will not only generate new ways of art making. This new discipline will also stimulate innovation of the technology. With this kind of a network generated by ACC, we can tell international artists start to be working together, generating new networks to fight these challenges together. So I really hope everyone can learn from this summit and we can work together, inspire together in the future. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Fay. Really, I have a lot of new ideas after your presentation. Very nice work. Congratulations. And we have at least 2,000 people watching us around the world. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody that was watching our ACC Summit 2000. And now, I would like to present a very old friend, a very nice friend. He is programmer, creator, and the most important, he's VJ and like to perform in the very big festivals around the world. And he likes to party. We have the pleasure to call now to our summit Mr. Joris from Netherlands. Um, nice to see you here, Joris.
Thank you, Speto. It's wonderful to be here. That presentation was amazing with the things I've never seen before. I'm going to wish good luck to the translator because I will try to take pauses between what I'm telling, but I get very excited about this. So probably you will lose me at one point. I want to take you back to March 11th, which in the Netherlands was the start of the lockdown. And I was working on two jobs, two VJ jobs. And on March 11th, both of them got canceled. And it was the same all around me. For everyone in the industry, the gigs were being canceled for the next weekend, for the next month. So I did what every overworked VJ would do. I locked myself in my bedroom and I played Xbox for 2 days. Then to skip forward to 2 months later, and we present a show for Awakenings in a virtual event in the Gashouder. And here is a video of that. So this was the work of 3 people, myself included, over a period of a little under 2 months, where we had to discover new techniques, we had to adapt our workflows, we had to write new tools. And today I want to take the next 20 minutes to talk to you about what I learned during this process and where I see things headed in the future. And the first thing that I learned is that game engines are awesome. And yeah, game engines, to me, they're the next big thing. And as you can see, in the past few months, we've seen a lot of virtual shows pop up, and they're all using game engines. And to me, that makes it's weird to say about a global pandemic, but it feels like the timing is right. By the lockdown, by the shows being canceled, we were all forced to stop what we're doing and to think about the tools we had in front of us and what the possibilities with those tools are. And game engines were, at the start of the lockdown, already in use on big Hollywood productions like The Mandalorian you see here, where they project real-time environments interactively with adaptive lighting, changing camera angles, and high quality screens, and all in real time. And to me, this all means that they're the next step in visual performance. These game engines are literally designed to take real-time incoming control data, 3D art, and change the lighting conditions, change the camera angles, and do all of that in real time. And if you're used to working in video, and if you're used to productions with 3D assets, you know that video sucks. So I would like to say that if you're an artist that works with 3D, working with video performance, and if you haven't by now opened the game engine, you're not doing it right. Game engines allow you to do everything you want in real time without any limits whatsoever. So the first thing that I learned is that there are actually definitely limits. It turns out that rendering lighting, that rendering shadows, doing all these beautiful things is very, very costly, and it's very, very heavy for the computer. And when you're playing AAA games and when you're watching Hollywood productions use this stuff in the background, it's actually a lot of smoke and mirrors going on where they use tricks like texture baking, carefully selecting camera angles beforehand, and they just make you think that it's real time. But here we are, recreating the Gashouder, which is an iconic venue in the Netherlands, recreating it in 3D, and it's completely circular, and it has lights all around. So we have to somehow make these lights that are changing every second in their position and in their color. And we have video screens playing in the background, and we have cameras flying around. And we somehow have to make this look good. So yeah, we're using pretty beefy computers, but we still had to cut down for our performance budgets. And we cut the lights down by a factor of 10, which means that we still had nearly 500 active lights in the scene. But that was the first thing we learned. And I don't think that is a bad thing. Designing for virtual is the same thing as designing for a show or a stage or any product, really. That anything you put in your composition needs to have a function, and you need to think about the function it has. And if you're just throwing in 1,000 Sharpies to be visually overwhelming, that is an option, but I prefer taking time to think about what a light does. Also, these are technical limitations. The games industry is a multi-million-dollar industry, and they're running into the same problems, and they want to solve these problems as well. So they have whole companies dedicated to finding solutions for this. And in time, the hardware will improve, the knowledge will improve about the hardware, we'll figure out new ways around it, we'll figure out new tricks, and doing all this in real time will be easier. There's a second limitation, and it's interesting that that second limitation was actually our human brain. And for this, I want to take you back to the beginning of the lockdown again, where a lot of industry people are sitting behind their computers, their jobs canceled, and we're opening up Unity, and we're opening up Unreal, and we're opening Notch and Depends and all the real-time visualization software. And the first thing that we all draw is a standard stage with a DJ booth with some lights on a truss. And to me, that's very interesting because we can make literally anything now. We can have an underwater stage, or we could have a stage in space, or we could have the DJ riding a lizard that shoots lasers. We can do everything we want, but still we're drawing this technical type of stage where there is a traditional DJ booth and there is a traditional lights on a truss. And again, I don't think that is a bad thing. there is something that the people who are at the top of their game, that draw the most amazing stages for real concerts, they get that good because they are used to working within certain limitations, and they're used to finding creative solutions to work within limits. And the virtual thing is a new game where there are new rules and new limits. So it makes sense that the first thing you try in that new game is the stuff you already know. And it turns out that it actually is really helpful to try the stuff you know, because it's easy to forget now that we're a few months in and we've already seen so many virtual events pop up. But when you're doing this for the first time, you're doing stuff that you haven't done before. You're using tools that are not designed for the workflow. You will run into problems that you never had before. Sometimes the stage is only visible when it's being rendered. So it's helpful to talk about real world concepts like the first Sharpie on the second truss or the stage right LED screen, so that you can talk about known objects in the world to troubleshoot and to bring the product to the next phase. Another thing I learned during this time is the concept of Maya, which is not the 3D rendering software, but an acronym for most advanced yet acceptable. And this was coined by Raymond Loewy, who is a designer who, among other things, designed the Coca-Cola bottle. So he knows what he's talking about. And he said, a lot of people are open to new things as long as they look like the old ones. And in live events, that translates to me that when the audience is used to seeing a DJ on a stage with lights and video surrounding him on a truss, and you do something that is too far out of that box, the audience might not accept that, and they'll think it's too weird. And what we had when we were drawing the Gashouder, we were working from home by ourselves late at night, and we got a little crazy. We had the rafters moving, controlled by DMX. We had moving magic panels. We had the ceiling that could come down. Yeah, you could fly, you could fall through the floor, and you could look from underneath. We went really, really, really crazy with this. And during the recordings, Jasper, who is the show director for Awakenings, he very wisely put the reins on us and pulled us back and said, let's try to keep it somehow realistic. And in hindsight, some people really responded well to the weird stuff, but I think he made the right call to, at least this first show, not to go too crazy with it, so that people will understand. And similarly, like with the technical limitations, I think this is a limitation that will eventually improve. We'll learn to design new things that are not real, but still awesome. And we'll have an audience that get used to more and more seeing non-real stuff. And they will start to expect new and weird things. And that takes me to the last part, is where do I see things heading in the future? I've already heard the word stream fatigue being mentioned, people getting tired of virtual streams. And that does make sense. It doesn't matter how good your renders are, or how good your crowd simulation is, or how real it looks. Being in a real crowd on a real show and feeling the bass dump through your body, and smelling the sweat of the people around you, and that is an experience that you can never, ever, ever capture virtually. It's a physical experience. But that's not to say that I don't think there is a future for virtual events once we can start doing those things again. I enjoy physically going out and drinking beer with my friends and talking with them and meeting them face to face. But there's also nights that I play a video game with a friend of mine who lives in Iceland. And while we're playing a game, we have the same discussions and we talk about our lives and our careers and our children. And that is a fun experience to have. So similarly, I think that there will be people living across the world in Australia for which it's very difficult and expensive to visit a concert like EDC Vegas. So they can't visit it physically, but they can still enjoy a virtual experience at EDC Vegas with their friends, with a DJ playing music, with other fans, and it's a valid experience to have. And when you really think about it, a festival experience is more than just hearing a DJ play. The festival experience is as much fun or even more fun when you wander the grounds and you walk into areas where you hear music that you've not heard before, and you see and hear and feel things that are new to you. And I think game engines are especially good for giving those virtual experiences. If you take, for instance, a game like Journey, which is a game that takes you through beautiful virtual environments while you progress through a story at your own pace with the actions that you choose. It's a fully virtual experience that's enjoyable on its own. And when you translate that to musical events, live performers can respond to music and to what is happening during the show as it happens, while you have lasting consequences on the environment that is being shown. For instance, after the Gashouder, we worked on Electric Love Festival, which was another festival that was canceled. And one of the things we did was that we made the floor controllable by the VJ so that they could physically change the environment that the world that you're in. And that's just one step. Like with game engines, you can have dragons spitting fire on the drop, and they're burning the environment around you, and that the show is in. And I actually really want to have dragons spitting fire on the drop. So, jokes aside, there are festivals that have a very strong narrative structure. For instance, Boomtown Festival that you see here, which incidentally was supposed to take place this weekend, but sadly not. There's DEF CON, there's lots of festivals that have a strong visual narrative structure. And I think that game engines are especially suited to perform live within that visual narrative, taking into account the stage design and letting the LED screens merge that into a virtual world that you're responding to, that you're interacting with as a visual artist, and that you don't have to script and timecode the whole show, but you can still work with the music and improvise and have that sense of nowness that you get from live performance. And once we've made that step, it's not that hard to imagine a world on your home computer where, as a player, you're running around and being bounced around on the waves that the VJ creates. Or you're a player in a castle that is discovering secret areas while the DJ plays above you. These are experiences that you can create. Now, I don't think that we're ready for a fully MMO-style interactive 3D experiences. We're not ready for that yet, and especially now that Tomorrowland has set the bar for quality, which is not rendered live, which cannot be streamed to 10,000 people at the same time. But I do think that especially now, in these times, the right studio with the right DJ on a smaller scale can create a beautiful experience that the viewer can enjoy at home. And if it took us 3 months, 2 months, 3 of us to make the Gashouder, I want to see where the visual scene is in 2 months and what they're doing. And I want to see what they're doing in 2 years. And I'm really excited about that.
Oh my God. Oh, sorry. Wait a minute. Wei, welcome. Thank you so much for our guest. This was a really amazing presentations from everyone. My favorite, and I think he was the favorite from everyone, was Faye, I would say. Amazing. Thanks, Mr. Faye. It was really good. I want to let you know that we have over 2,000 people listening and watching us, the vast majority in China. Ni hao. I want to say a big thanks to Ruby, our translator. She's doing very well, very, very, very well. And now we are opening the panel, but before that, I want to call my dear friend Vijay Speto. Vijay Speto, are you there?
Yes. Oh,
Great, nice to see you here.
oh, oh, after the George's speech, I get really excited to party,
Yeah, it was a
But
party vibe.
but before the party, we have our panel. Now we have now that we already know one each other a little bit more, we need to discuss some ideas so we can inspire you that have seen our ACC Summit 2020.
I have a suggestion, Speto. What about we call Jimmy?
Oh yes.
Jimmy,
Oh,
are you there? Jimmy, where are you? Hello, Jimmy.
hello, Jimmy Choi.
Hello?
It's such a pleasure to have you here, Jimmy.
Yes, I'm fine.
Do you want to say some words for our Chinese audience in Chinese?
Yeah, now it's the Chinese summertime and evening now. So I hope to drink some tea in the evening.
Tea.
Yeah.
That's great. So I'm not
I have my
drinking
juice.
tea.
I have my juice.
Well, but it's late somewhere in Japan. Maybe Mishi is drinking some sake. Is it possible? Is it the beer o'clock for Joris? We don't know. Let's call our friends. Where are
Good.
they? Okay, that's
Yeah,
great to
I'm
see you
drinking
here.
tea.
I agree.
That's really good presentation, guys. Thank you so much. It was a real pleasure. Well, first of all, I want to let you know that we have a Zoom call going on, which is really interesting. You can show my full screen, like here. Look at that. Hi, Gavin. How you doing? You good? Hi, Tala. Tala is our great producer. Hello. Hi, how you doing, my friend? Where is Gabriel, Alejandro, Rojo? And we also have a Chinese Zoom going. Oh, hello. You are all here now. That's fantastic. And check it out. We have this Zoom, which is in English, which is great. And we also have this one. Well, there you go. That's the Zoom that we have here. Fantastic. Well, now we are all in a big family, which is great. We have a bridge here between China and the rest of the world at the moment, which is great. So I'm going to start to kick out with some good questions, but some simple ones. And because this is a bit like a Russian roulette, yeah, we know it has all changed. That's a fact. What was good about it? Yeah. After 6 months, I lost track. What was good? Yuri, what about that? What was good
What was
for you
oh
these last months?
last month? I mean, at the beginning, it was like interesting times, so quite surreal. Like, I mean, everything stopped, everything like hibernating around you. So, I mean, I live very intense life, so I have a lot of meetings. But then I adopted and started to do stuff that I planned to do for a long time. I mean, I didn't have time for this, that, and that, and it really gave me opportunity to finish a lot of work I was planning to do for years. So that was good.
Wow.
For me, basically, the experience is interesting and opened a lot of opportunities.
And Mishi, you are
Yep.
there, very quiet. How are you?
I'm good, but a little
It's
sleepy. You know,
it's
it's almost,
late over there, isn't it?
yeah, it's almost time to nap.
While, it's been confusing these days with all these schedules. Such a pleasure. Mishi, I've heard that you have some plans in the future to do virtual events.
Mhm.
Are you thinking doing it similar to what Yoris is doing with the game engines? Or do you have any plans of a mapping festival online? Rumor?
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm very interested in the game engine, the Unity or Unreal, and the cluster also that has a really big possibility for such pandemic time, and we are studying how to update such game engine and connect to the people reality. So I'm really interested in the real and the virtual, how to connect. So this is a possibility for the our future. And I'm also doing trying to the streaming with 360 degree streaming. So it's also fun.
Interesting. 360 streaming?
Yeah.
Yuri has some 360 software.
Yes, and we did some already some events with our Japanese friends from Ohirotech, from company that produces optical-mechanical projector Megastar. So Mr. Ohira made a stream from planetarium using our software and optical-mechanical projector. So now they're doing virtual lectures in planetarium because planetariums are closed in most of the countries and people cannot visit them but want to visit them. So there is an opportunity, for example, for museums to hold virtual lectures, to hold virtual exhibitions, and it's really interesting experience. And I don't remember how many people, but the audience was huge for these lectures.
That's really interesting because me and Speto, we have also a software for 360. And we also, the other day, we performed for a virtual dome. It was really interesting. The dome was on a Unity game engine space, and we were 5 VJs performing, everyone on their own houses, together to a crew who was in the USA, who have a virtual dome where we were making a show, and they were outputting for everything, Facebook, Twitch. So is this the future? Do you think, Mr. Fay, there's space in the academy for domes, 360 virtual space. How are we going to connect it all together? Because your work and the work you show was amazing, and that looks like from the future. So can you let us know what's going on?
Yeah, thanks, Pedro. As a professor, I've been teaching online courses for the last almost half year now. It's amazing. People predict it's going to take 10 years to, really apply this online education system in China. But it only takes 3 months for almost, 1/3 of Chinese to learn how to use online tools to do online courses. So I think that's something really good about, during this pandemic situation. But I hope, I can do a online teaching in 360 dome. That would be really awesome. We all know, this kind of online television, tools, stuff like that. It is efficient, but experience-wise, it's not really there yet, right? We kind of the technology is still behind this demand, the huge demand on this online communication, virtual performance, virtual events. I think there was a lot of room for us, for the industry to look into this new demand. Yeah, so I would love to invite, all of you guys, either in a virtual way or physical way to perform in the dome in the future project. Yeah.
Wow, very good. Anna, how are you?
I'm good.
Fantastic. We have a question here for you.
Mm,
It's from Tropi Press.
okay.
Anna, I find very important to think art as a selling product. Being an artist is a job and people need to understand its value and pay for it. I suffer with the same issue in Brazil. RHI is great. Can you tell us how was the experience with the artist? Because I guess a lot of our audience are artists and want to be artists. So I think inspiring them to a clear path. Is it possible a future as an artist?
It is. What we have to do is really to take a different stand and a different approach towards our profession. And I think Rai gave this opportunity to many artists, and I called almost everybody involved in the project that submitted a project to be presented. And it was really the talks I wanted to do. I end up then doing a video to send to everybody every other week, exactly to emphasize these questions, mentioning what I mentioned before, that do not use the word donation, because this is not what we do. This is a job and a service and a work. So it has to be paid as everything else in the world. And another question was really not only the change of vocabulary, but it's the way we position ourselves. The way sometimes we present ourselves and our craft, it's not the correct one and doesn't help the audience to understand what we exactly do. Because when you're not an artist, you have ideas about being an artist that sometimes are just more fantasies that people create, because that's what the magazines sell you. So that's why you have the pop artists, and they show up in magazines and they have huge followers, and people imagine that this is the only thing that arts combine, and it doesn't. There's a lot of technicians behind. There's the gaffers, there's all the sound engineers, the light engineers, all these people that actually make the magic happen. And these people, when we talk about art in general, most people, the general public, does not think about these people, because they only see what it's in the spotlight. So it's very important, and I think it's crucial, and I think it's an opportunity what's happening here with the COVID situation, for us as artists to just change the way we position ourselves and explain a bit more about our process, not just the creative process, but how things work on the backstage, because it's very important that the general public understand what we do, and in a broader way, not just what they see on a stage or in a performance. And we need to have that understanding from the society, so that we can be positioned as professionals, because I'm not saying that most people don't see us like that. They see it, but at an unconscious level, they always think, oh, they artists, and it's like, oh, they're supposed to, someone will pay them, and that's not really a way of living. If you think, probably most of our parents, no one wanted us to follow the arts. So right there you have a good example. So it's really about the way we're positioning as a class worldwide, and as professionals. That's really the difference. So, and I'm glad that this resonates in Brazil, because I know that although we think we are past this phase, I don't think we are. So, and the pandemic in a lot of ways showed us that there's still work to do.
Very nice, very nice. So, I have a question. To say the truth, I have a provocation for you guys. I start with there is a very important architect, Italian architect called Bruno Zevi. He says that in one of his book, he says that there is no photo, video, blueprints that could substitute the real experience. To be in the space, and I saw many of you saying the same thing. That is, sometimes it's a bit weird to be in the virtual, and we still wanting the real world. And but now we have this paradigm, because the new generations, they are they are growing very familiar with the virtual world. So they know more the virtual than the real world. So when I say we generate, or generation, it's a generation that is still prefer the real than the virtual. And my provocation is how we could construct a bridge between these two realities, the two poles, how to construct this bridge, and what will you put in the real, what will you put in the virtual, what's important in the virtual reality, what's important in the real world, and how do you see this future?
Can I start?
Yes, please.
I think both things are important, because you can. It's a tool. The virtual, it's a tool. It's a different way of experience something. But the most important thing, and this is, it doesn't matter how many generations will pass, and I still hope we will not forget that, it's the contact between us, the human contact, and the empathy, and all these things that you can only generate when you look at each other, when you are with each other, when you together as a group generate some kind of energy, and that cannot be replaced. So unless we become machines, and I know sometimes there's too much technology and it's very difficult to detach and have a conversation, or if you go out with your friends at a dinner or something, most of the people most of the time are looking at the phone, and there's a moment that you have to say, okay, let's just put the technology aside, we're here now, and let's interact. And sometimes we interact more when we're not together than when we are in the same spot. So at some point we have to turn around this, otherwise we'll become machines. But in the sense that what you're saying about the real shows and the virtual, again, I think the virtual is a tool. And at the end of the day, it's us humans and our emotions and our experiences that will bridge and that will touch the other.
I think we have a question from the audience, because this is a real intercontinental internet show. So let's see if we can talk to Gavin. Is Gavin here? Hi Gavin, how you doing? Well, it's almost there. Almost there. Yes, life can be confusing. I know, with so much technology. It was almost good. Almost good. So but anyway, I have Gavin's question. That's a good thing, you know. So let's give Gavin, let him on the picture, and to see if at some moment we get his sound. Okay, I think I got your question. It's how can we now? I think the challenge is attract people back to the places, right? We're talking virtual. Yes, I think we're getting a little bit lost in the virtual world. But what about the actual real world? Do you have someone has some suggestions? How can we actually attract people to the real thing? Do you ever want to go back to the real thing?
Joris, do you have some opinion about that?
I think that's quite a loaded question with right now whether or not it's wise to have many people in the same place. So I decline to comment on that.
Well, of course, but I guess we all assuming after it's safe. That's
Yeah, but I also agree. Yeah, that safety first. So we should not discuss it unless unless we have like safety. So it will be speculation, you know, like kind of saying right now. But my opinion, people will get back. I mean, people want to get back. People want to get back to normal, and they will attend concerts. They will attend museums as soon as it will be safe. I don't see any problem with this. I don't think problem exists. I think they really want to go there back.
And Faye, is any sight of normality in the future from where you are?
Yeah, I agree with Yuri and Joris says. I mean, safety is always the first concern.
Of course.
And but whenever the pandemic situation become, and become normal, I think it does in some of the city already. But I'm sure people would still like to be back to a normal, situations, back to the events, back to the real world. But it doesn't mean, we cannot, using virtual technology to enhance our communications and our interactivities and events. I think after we're getting back to a normal situation, we might think about the reality in a different way, which what I call a hybrid reality, is we live in both in the real world and the virtual world at the same time. And also I believe the technology is going to move forward into really emerge with the real reality, real space, and to enhance our behaviors, our activities in the real world, which I call hybrid experience. That's the future I'm looking for.
Wow, that's a great answer. Do you have any suggestions you would like to discuss from your lives, from your side of lives? I challenge you to put some question to the group to make this more interactive out of the script. You are on the mute, Mish.
Hello. We have one question here. Maybe our developer team could answer that. There is Gavin is asking us also, in the terms of gaming engines, which would you guys could recommend for the beginners?
At the moment, if you're starting out and just looking at what a game engine can do for you, Unreal is making really big waves. And although I love Unity with all my heart, and I prefer working in Unity, it is really a good time to start learning Unreal at the moment.
Okay, and I can see that's the whole thing about the 5G, right? We all know what it is. So we all know it's going to change our lives before and after the 5G. How do you think will that influence directly our industry? Because one thing is for sure, we from underdogs a little bit. The guy always on the backstage, the guys who work with the visual medias in the digital world, yeah. In the internet, we became consultants for everyone. For the old people, for the young people. Suddenly, we have the tools, which are the pixels, that we can communicate to the whole world. I think that's pretty amazing, that we came from underdogs to the front. Do you think 5G, of course, will change our lives? But any predictions? Any ideas?
Yeah, one of the main problems that we ran into very early on was that, of course, you want the viewer as an actor in the world, that they actually control where the camera is looking, where what is being shown, that they can walk around and interact. But to get the visual quality that we wanted, it's just not possible to run on a home laptop or a phone that somebody has. The computer is just not powerful enough. But with 5G and cloud computing, we're starting to see a move that instead of the rendering being done on the client side, it's being done in the cloud on clusters of very powerful computers. And the image is just streamed to the home computer as a flat image. So you combine the interactivity and the visual quality of supercomputers, and you can still enjoy it on your MacBook Air.
Good. We have one question here from São Paulo, from one artist called Caio Fazolin, and it's a question for everybody here. And now with this virtual reality, it drives our society to a kind of gaming society. So what do you think about this games company, like the console games company? Do you think that they introduce the big festivals, the big music festivals or art festivals inside their games, inside the cartridges, inside the new launchments? What do you think about that? Richie?
Yeah.
Please, Rich.
Yeah.
There's also, I have some concerns about that as well, because there's nothing like actually being involved in a very live event. And I think the live events will be something that we all at some point will return to, but a very controlled way in terms of our ticketing and how we manage crowds and how we deal with the social distancing. I think there is a way back. I really do.
You wonder who that voice was? Everyone, wasn't it? It was like, who's this person?
It's Gavin.
Yes, but everyone was hearing you. It was like, oh my God, we got hacked. It was my first thought. But then I understood it was Gavin. Hi, Gavin. How are you doing?
Hi. I actually changed the microphone over. I think it was my headset that was the problem.
No problem. We do it live, then that's how we like it. It's a real pleasure to have you here through Zoom, connected to our station here, and then to the world.
You too.
Where are you calling us from?
Calling from a very sunny part of England, on the south coast of England.
Oh God, that's sunny enough this time of the year.
Beautiful.
It's cold in Brazil, I must tell you. So, thank you so much for your participation. Do you want to add anything else?
Yeah, I just feel I know there was a little bit of understandable concern about returning to live events, and I think that is very, very fair. But I just do feel that with the right level of crowd control and with the right intelligent ticketing, then we can eventually get to a situation where we can enjoy the outside environment, but without exposing ourselves to major risk. But there needs to be a kind of joined up thinking about how we control crowds, similarly to how theme parks control their crowds, but on an even higher level. How can we control the flow of people, etc.
That's great. We have Chris and T. Virtual will be just an add-on, and really good add-on on that. But personally, nothing will replace the really old. Yeah, we know that smell of sweat, people. We all been there. I don't think it's gonna go away. But it's a real pleasure at least to be here with you and to be able to have all these connections, passing the stream all the way from England, mixing it all up, going to China. I think it's such a challenge. Does anyone who would like to comment on anything?
Yeah, I want to say something. Yeah, I'm interested in the game engine and the virtual world. And when I joined about the cluster, and the almost character is the same, they're basically the same. So I really want to update my face and the style, the fashion, and so the possibility is a lot of collaboration, like a hairstyle designer, cutting designer, and a makeup artist or fashion designer can enter the game engine world. And maybe there are a lot of business in the game engine for analog people. So analog people will use some easy tools to arrange the avatar design, avatar fashion, and some robotics performance, or it's virtual. So the people will be able to enjoy the not real world. So the game engine world, the virtual world is a fantasy. So we really create, it's kind of really creative world, not real. So it's big possibility. So the lot of creator feel such possibility and create something new. So I'm really interested in such update.
Okay, I think that's really interesting. And I have another suggestion on that. Because game engines, you need computers,
Mm.
you need expensive software.
Mhm.
We know it's not easy. And we are talking to the whole world. So I have a question for Anna, because she has a lot of experience on this. Because you've been literally in all 5 continents promoting art. Do you have any suggestion or any ideas on how, on developing countries, you can develop new media art? Do you even have a thought about that?
Pedro, so this is as most of the things that we talk about it. It's, I think education is the base of everything, and art and education should be together at all times. Not just because it educates the public in the future, like if you start since you're a child, it's going to be easy for you to appreciate, to interact in your life, in your job, in everything, the arts, which are very important for the development of any human being. But more than that, it creates the possibility of generations and artists that sometimes want to send out their message and they just can't. And with all the technology that we have accessible today, this is a way. So we should educate in the sense that in these countries, not only the basic needs and also the what we think. Oh, we're gonna try to teach them what we already know in more developed countries, and that's going to be enough. No, on the contrary, they need these resources. Even in some countries where they are extremely poor, there's always this wheel of pushing forward uh, to get their message passes of their real situation, of their daily life situation. And so I think that education all over the world, it doesn't matter if it's a developed country, less developed country, education and art should be together. And the technology has a role here, and it should be improved. This connection should be developed and should be improved. And I think all of us that go through these countries should really play a role in create. I don't say only workshops, but try to implement some more developed programs that last more than a couple of hours. That's not enough to get the idea, the skills to actually develop all these things. So I would say that the way it's always through education, not because on the long run you have more people that will appreciate what we're doing in a more general sense, but also because you will give them tools to also interact and express what they're feeling, what they are living in the world they and countries they are living in.
Thank you very much. That was a great answer.
Education is always a solution.
Of course, I don't doubt for that for a second. That's
Yeah, but
why.
the problem is sometimes people are so focused on the basic needs, and this looks like this part of the arts and giving tools to people so that they have a voice. That this looks like secondary, but it's not. At the end of the day, it's a basic need to express yourself for your mental health, for your community, for everything as one.
I totally believe so. Last year, me and Vijay Speto here, we have the privilege to visit Jimmy, who's in this call here with us, and he organizes a lot of education workshops in all over China. And it's really interesting because he bridges the commercial world and also the university where Mr. Fay works. So I think somehow it's a great example on how to bridge education, bring artists from many different backgrounds to, and it was amazing, really. We are used to 15 students, 10 students. We go to Guangzhou and we have 35, 50, you know, so it's a really special and important topic, the education. Jimmy, do you want to add anything?
I think the education was the very cheap way and the best way. Before I meet master, his name is Luke from Montreal set. Last time he told me was if you don't know one thing, you just learn it, then you can work it. So I think the best for the developing country, the best was education. That is why we made the ACC. And the E, one part was the education. And I have a story was I did not learn the new media. I learned the law before. But I like the freedom. So I joined inside the new media art. So I meet with Louis 4 years ago in QV. Also, after that, we made many immerser, many mapping, many other kinds. Also, we try some touch design with the machine learning. We tried many kind of new things because I don't know anything, so I learned anything. So I think the best way was the education.
I totally get that. It's what it matters, really. And we cannot separate that from the business. And that's where we all meet here, because we all need money to live. And Yuri, how important, obviously it's massively important, in the entertainment industry, because you've been to American Got Talent, you've done Eurovision, you have massive shows. That's really a big, important part of the actual business, the new media, the art, the projections, the creators, the technical people, implies hundreds of people. Sometimes we do one content and that involves literally dozens of people to be played back. Dozens of people are eating because we played that content. I think that's amazing. Do you feel that importance? I guess so, because you have millions of people of views on your content.
Yes, of course. I have so many friends in show business industry and the entertainment industry that now looking for a job. That now next, it's a huge army of people now thinking what to do next because they don't have job. And it's you're completely right, Pedro. I mean, one performer generate a lot of jobs. And if you cancel one concert, it does not mean you cancel concert. Yes, you cancel hundreds of people, sometimes thousands of people jobs. So I don't know how to face it because I'm not in the government to help people. But I think if you're a business, you need to ways of coping this situation. So my thinking is diversification. So you should not rely on one business, or you should not rely on one direction of the business. Like we, for example, we have like at least 5 directions. We have stage software development. We have also dome production. It's a physical. We produce domes. So when you lose one direction, so for example, now concert shows, are dead. Eurovision was cancelled, and we're supposed to do few video backgrounds for Eurovision, but domes are still good because we have long contracts from the government, and if something was approved half of a year ago, it's still going. Nobody will cancel it, and so I I just proposed every artist, every media designer just to diversify. Joris made this Unreal Engine learning, or doing something that would be for the future. If we get back to normal, okay, you will get your job back. But if not, you will have new opportunities.
And what about the dancers? Because I want to make it a little bit different backgrounds of all different professions. I know that you have employed many dancers, simply performers. They work with their body. They don't need software. Do you think a future in this kind of arts in the virtual world?
I don't know. So, for example, the project we are doing right now, it's a permanent mapping that will be in Kiev, and we use motion capture dance. So the dance will be virtual. It will be on a building, so no need for physical contact between the audience. So, and I think more or less open air like events and open spaces are more or less safe. So I think one of the opportunity is making something outdoors, making something public on a big space where you can keep your social distance. It's one of the projects we are participating in right now. So we actually converting what we've done for stage shows, but for permanent mapping show using dancers. And I'm happy that I can help them in these hard times because it's a commercial project, so we can pay them and to do this.
Okay. And Mishi, a lot of people producing video mapping around the world. You know this better than anyone here because you have a whole dedicated good time of your life to a video mapping competition. So for all these people who are listening to us and they used to work in projection mapping, which obviously involves thousands of people gathered together, what can they do during these times when they cannot simply go out and project map buildings? What they can do now?
Yeah, it's really important for me too. It's a big question. And I also look for the good way to survive for such video mapping creator like this pandemic situations. And yeah, of course, we need to the social distance, and we can't get a lot of people, so we have to think something different way for the show. So I think the video mapping creator has some skills for the not only the video production, but special design sense. So I suggest for the video mapping creator, not for the only the show, but more permanent things, more public art and interior designing things, and video mapping facade or interior design and the shopping center or data signage as well. And we need to think about such updating things. And also we can adjust for the game engine like Unity or Unreal Engine. So
Okay, so I think I understand something common to everyone here. We have to learn education, game engines, whatever that means, or who's out there.
yeah, and
So
one more thing, I want to update the nature. Nature is really analog and really close for the human mind. So, and the nature can keep the social distance for outside and the beach or the mountain as well. So yesterday I was in the forest, so the camping actually. So that is a really good experience for the such the situation. So if the creator can join to the nature, to update nature with the digital technology, it is some good possibility, I think. May I show you the my homework?
Of course, let's go out of the script. I love it.
You love
Jory,
it?
so while you prepare that, Mishi, you are a VJ. We have the.
This is one of my artwork with a lighting designer. And this is a simple lighting projection for the natural waves.
So you are actually projecting light into the waves.
This is not a video projection, but just simple LED projection. But
Wow,
this is one of the
very
ideas.
beautiful.
So it's a very huge installation. So it's possible to gather people, not full, but yeah, it good distance, good distance.
That's great, Mishi.
Yeah,
That's really beautiful.
One of the idea.
We have a question here from Gael, and I think I will send it to Speto. Speto, let's check this out. What do you think will be the business model in the near future that doesn't look so good for video mapping? Will it go again virtual game engines? Will be a mix of both?
Yeah, that's the reason that I did the question before, because it's something that I received a lot of artists here are asking the same. And I think that is a reality. They use the utilization of the game engine to do the things. And the game engine is not that monster that was before. I think that now, when you have like very powerful games in mobiles, it could be a very tool to experiment new space, especially this new space that our artists are developing now. And then maybe it's a future for the video mapping also. And we have another. I want to read something that one guy asked here before. About the video mapping, he says that's indication that the UK organizations are very
was
open.
Gavin.
Yeah, it was Gavin. Yeah, they are very open to the projection mapping shows on the stereos, because it's because people cannot get inside so the place. So these video mappings are like. Very special though, like it's something that could drive attention to that. But the biggest problem is how to entice the audience to be there. So we have a solution on one side, but there is a problem on the other side. How entice people to get out of their homes. Then again, I say that maybe this game engine thing could be the gamification of all this could be some patch, some solution.
I have a hookup for Faye. Faye, Gail. By the way, hello, Gail. Thank you so much for participation. We all know you. We love you. I have a question, which is done from the audience to you. My questions are always from the audience. What sort of audiovisual experiences do you think will improve the human sensibility? Yes. And by the way, do you think augmented reality will increase your human sensibility?
Is that a question for me?
Yes.
To be honest, yeah, I've been kind of looking into all the kind of virtual reality technology, from VR to AR to MR, or people call XR. I personally, I don't think that technology is really ready for the good experience. Like the reason we're doing, I think sometimes the video mapping, it's kind of virtual reality for me. Instead of we're using gadget, we're using dome, we're using other video mapping techniques to simulate that kind of immersion, which I think is function much better than the gadget-based, the glass-based kind of a virtual reality. But I do believe with 5G, this kind of a new infrastructure, it's going to be a huge kind of a driving force for new rich media content. Of course, I think AR is one of these technology people are quite optimistic about. Another thing I think personally, I'm more into a mixed reality kind of technology. The reason about that is I believe we gotta have to having all these kind of virtual reality technology merge with the real world, and we're gonna have to get people back from the virtual world into a real world with enhanced experience. I think AR and the mixed reality is really a kind of a empowering this new experience. So I've been doing kind of AR applications in art and in design as well. It's quite challenging and it's expensive to do any type of AR work, to be honest. If you want to make it really right, it's really difficult. So, but as I said before, it's not ready yet, but it's going to be the future. So I think it's a good time to really look into this non-sophisticated kind of product, because there was an opportunity to creating a new experience, I think. Yeah.
Okay, and we know that filters. This is an AR. Hello, guys. How are you doing today? It's a little bit trippy, eh?
Yeah, that's a really good AR application.
Yes. So we know the interface, the software, it's somehow already there. We're just missing the speed of the internet. We have around 10 minutes to go. I'd like to ask Joris on this 5G concept. How do you see the future of this performance, DJ, with the 5G, no limit speed, everything is possible? Will you be at home drinking tea, DJing on a Saturday night with me and Spito and someone else, and we all home drinking tea instead of going to the backstage, getting the Uber, get on an airplane? You know the drill. How do you see the future?
Honestly, I don't think that live events are going to go away. And I feel like a lot of the discussion that we've been having of putting virtual replacing real, and that's not really an issue. As soon as the health, we have vaccines or we have health measures, events are going to reappear, and then we both know that we want to be there as part of that crowd, as part of the music, as part of this atmosphere. That is what we do as performers. But I think the interesting thing, what we've learned during the past months, is that there are other avenues that you can explore to provide an experience to people. And for instance, what Anna has been doing, it's making a platform where people can perform and express their art and get an audience for that. Those are the directions we can explore and where 5G is going to come in useful, but it's never going to replace the live experience.
Not at all. But we have another quick question from Gael. It's actually directing to me, which is about the importance of sound. Yeah, guys, we know sound is very important. We are in the world of mono sound. Zoom conference, WhatsApp, Facebook. Why? It's all mono. We went back many years ago. So yes, there are headphones which will give you space, audio space, that will make you feel you are in the location. Someone is calling you from behind, will give you a sense of being. But yes, we know nothing will replace the real thing. So yes, we are going almost to the end. So would you like any last considerations if you want to speak? I just want to show you my beautiful hat from the United VJs. I do my hand and I get the logo. I love this kind of thing. This is the stuff I learned during the pandemic, the lockdown. I had time on learning how to make a silly filter and I felt great. So I would never, ever have done a filter on a normal working schedule. So yes, I think if you have some last considerations, the mic is open for you. Gonna place.
Yeah, I would like to say a few words because I think Chinese really believe the opportunity always come after challenges. We're quite optimistic about this the COVID-19, and also in 2018, the Chinese government has announced a new strategy called the New Infrastructure, which includes mainly include 5G base station construction, big data center, artificial intelligence, and industrial internet, and other new fields. But that initiatives has been greatly basically pushed after the COVID-19 situation, and so which means we're going to have a 5G commercial usage much faster than we expect. So that's the kind of good things about how people really think about what is infrastructure for the country, especially during this pandemic situation. So I think by saying that, I think this kind of a new infrastructure, I think, is really going to change the industry, especially not only information industry. I think traditional industry with this new infrastructure. For example, museums start to talk about how we're going to elaborate this new infrastructure with cultural heritage, how we're going to run the data of all the heritage on this new infrastructure. So I think with this shifting and transformation, there will be much more job opportunities and the new industries emerge from this transformation. And that's why personally I'm quite optimistic about how technology, how this kind of a new infrastructure is going to empower individuals, not only just creatives, people in the traditional industry. They will be has more ability to doing things in a more creative way, and also there was also a lot of students in China really passionate about digital media, digital art. So I also think this is a good timing to learn new tools, like new game engines, new softwares. More importantly, I think to learn how to position yourself in this near future, how to be creative in a more interdisciplinary kind of a skill sets. I wish everyone the best during this challenge time. I'm so glad we have these networks so we can really share our experience and learnings from each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Faye. It was really good. Anyone wants to say anything else? I just wanted to say thanks to everyone that was in Zoom. I think Dave is still there. And Natalia, Tala, thank you so much for all your work. Tomorrow it's your day in StreamYard. We couldn't have Natalia here. She has done a great work for us. Thank you so much. Hello, here you are. Thank you so much for being there. And we just have to say bye to all the people in China, all over the world. It was a great pleasure. Jimmy, Yuri, Faye, Anna, Yoris, Michi, Speto. Thank you so much. And now...
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
See you very soon in a real world, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Don't forget that tomorrow we have the other day of the event. So we have a great lineup. We'll be more dedicated to education, with great people promoting their work as teachers of new media. So it's don't miss it. It's gonna be unbelievable. Tomorrow at the same time we'll be here. Speto, do you want to say something else?
It was a pleasure to be with all you people, and let's hope that we have more opportunities to be together.
Let's hope so. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same hour, in this digital space. Bye. That was it, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us. These are the last seconds of the stream. Thank you for everyone to be there. China, Europe, Asia, Brazil. We did it. Thank you so much, everyone. Jimmy, Talas, Beto, Vijay Erms. You rock. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.